Is CHOVY hacking? Is he bringing minions with him in his pocket before he goes on stage and just unleashes them as he's playing the game? His CS numbers need to be investigated. Let's take a look at this Riot game where he has this ridiculous CS count in comparison to his opponent Zeka. Let's go through the lane phase and actually pay attention to the small details that makes CHOVY's leads just balloon out of control. Whatever game CHOVY plays, it seems like, in the past there was this big meme about him, about how he just only farms. Obviously, he's become more and more of a team player and he roams around a lot, whether he's playing Galio and Talia and he's in tune with game ideas, but somehow he still managed to maintain his level of farming. Um, let's take a look at how he lanes against Cassio. Against Cassio, a Rise, we see Cassio lock-ins against Rise, but I think it's just wrong knowledge about this being a counter. I think Rise, the way you want to play Rise into Cassio is to just leverage the fact that you have phase rush. You can sprint through the miasma on shorter trades. It's very important that you never stick your combos, because that makes it very easy to land Qs and miasma and also petrifying gaze. When I say stick combos, it's pretty much you want to trade and not be pattern based. Because a lot of Rise players just do like the QE, WQE, they do the combo, which makes them turn into Machine Gun Kelly. But you are not supposed to do that against Cassio. To space things out, use the leverage of your Q range, and make your movement a little bit more sporadic. Here, CHOVY does this thing where he trades very heavily here with Zeka. The main thing is that Cassio, her mana pool is very, very limited if she trades too hard. That is one of her main weaknesses. Rise is way, way stronger in, of course, the department of just pushing and shoving waves and getting a clean basin. But this is something that Cassio players need to be very mindful of, because even here, level 1, CHOVY is not afraid of losing the HP that he's, of course, losing. He's pushing forward. He's going to look to, of course, contest the level 2. He does the level 2 swing. His level 1 trading was very, very active, and he looked to do so because of the attack on, of course, Zeka's mana pool. And he's darting in and out to try to get the Q shots in. This is, of course, one of the biggest strengths of Rise, is the fact that he can, look to actively, just smash in any wave state. Like, he's one of the few mid laners that can actually break and push in a cannon wave on time. Usually that's the base timer that people choose to do. And that is, of course, where, it takes the longest to push and also takes the longest for the turret to kill it. Which means that Rise sometimes can cheat the purpose of the game. As you can see, Zeka's mana pool right now is in shambles, and CHOVY made sure that as he's trading, he's never standing in the wave. He's pushing to look to get Qs in, he's looking to leverage his HP bar as much as possible, and in the context of the timing of the jungle, in these cases, if the gank didn't come in already, Trundle would never wait super, super long. The level 3 gank would come at a very certain window. And this is something that people sometimes leverage as an attack vector against, of course, Rise players. They saw when he warded, and maybe there was room for Peanut to do some counterplay, because level 3 gank can hurt Rise super, super much. Nevertheless, we continue. CHOVY pushes forward, and he always pushes in a way where he's away from the mini wave, so Zeka always needs to make a choice. Don't let him Q, of course, CHOVY and, of course, the wave at the same time. Here in the end, he's saving his mana, not looking to burn it on this wave in particular. He's looking to save it for the cannon that is coming. Currently, he's going to now smash it in, and he gets the wave in. So currently, CHOVY has only missed 1 CS. Perfect CS at this point in time would be basically just 25, and he's on 24. So one little minion got away. I think it was on wave 2. He bases, TP's back, and Peanut crosses into Top Crab because his team lost him, of course, the bottom side situation, even though he's stronger in the 1v1 against Xin Zhao. CHOVY knows his position. He also knows that Trundle is going to be topside for a very, very long time. CHOVY is still doing the same pattern where he's looking to actively Q and to poke. But a crucial detail already with the early trading that CHOVY did, he already has a refillable potion advantage. And refillable is such a strong laning item because in theory you're spending 150 gold for an even greater ruby crystal, right, in terms of effective health and how you can leverage that as an advantage. It's basically a cheap ruby crystal that just keeps giving value to you if you just look at it in the context of what the HP is. So CHOVY as well, by pushing the cannon, also has a slight XP advantage. As you can see, Zeka is a little bit behind on the XP department, especially because Trundle also crossed and shared some XP. And now CHOVY is going to ward in the middle lane to see Cassiopeia's movement. She used the plant on top side, and CHOVY made sure to de-aggro the range minion. Now he's going to look to leverage level 5 and never lets Zeka, of course, Q him and the wave at the same time. He pushes a little bit further because of the QCD. He's looking to bait out spells and to attack Zeka's mana pool. That's the main thing with CHOVY. What he does so well is that basically you always want to lane in a way where you're feinting towards the enemy. You never want your movement to be predictable. Tether yourself to the range of the enemy. Don't tether yourself to the range of course, the minion. A lot of players would position themselves in this spot here to last at this melee minion here that is falling. But in reality, what you want to do is you want to tether yourself to the opponent, because they're going to give you information in terms of how they play and their play pattern. They are going to feel threatened by jungle, of course, at all times. And it also means that it's become so much harder to judge the information that CHOVY is working with. And at the same time, by darting in and out, he can bait spells out of Zeka, attacking his mana pool, and at the same time sometimes getting some poke in. It sometimes comes at risk, right? Trundle put the pillar across the wall. This pink ward was keeping him safe. He gets chunked, but of course there's refillable potion that we mentioned before. He's doing a lot of work here. We continue. Looking at Zeka's mana pool, he's looking to E them, but the Qs that he's been laying down and the miasma he laid down, of course, are very costly. Joe begins to channel recall, but he decides to cancel it in the end because he knows once again, like this minion wave, he can always push. He can stay for the cannon wave that comes at 6 minutes and always shove it. And Zeka's mana pool is, of course, very hurt here. Additionally, you know, the XP advantage that he had, the refillable advantage that he has, he's still leveraging it because he's laning 6 against 5, of course, and traded very, very heavily before Zeka's, crossover to 6. Continue. In the end, the cannon wave arrives. Zeka bases and recalls on the cannon wave because that's the choice that he has. Otherwise, if he stays to catch this, the wave is going to bounce and then he's going to be super late and then it's going to be a freeze and he's going to lose even more. The cannon wave, as I mentioned before, is of course the tanky wave that he just wants to keep here. So far, CHOVY is at 61 CS. He only missed 2 CS so far. He's going to walk back. The cannon crashed and now the wave is slow pushing into him. As mentioned before, Zeka needed the base, because otherwise he would never get a timer to do so. Trundle is showing on top side and he wards in case Trundle wants to cross. CHOVY is kind of pulling the wave to keep the wave in a safe position for him and at the same time put pressure on Zeka, because Zeka is not sure about, of course, Zinzal's position. You always want to make the enemy laner second guess any situation. CHOVY double E's to get the move speed. As you can see here, the double E makes, of course, the Essence Flux bounce. And additionally, you get the rune without using the W, which gives you move speed, which means that you can look for a cheeky trade like that. As you can see here, CHOVY didn't do the thing where he just QWQ EQs, right? He doesn't stick a whole combo. He darts in and out to bait abilities, and he never makes his movement predictable. This is a very, very important game. Imagine like you are basically, the example I gave Zico is basically like John Jones is always feinting with his jab, and it always keeps the enemy, you know, focus on that jab, even though it might not be damaging. It can turn into something damaging, and you always have to be wary of that. A lot of weaker players are going to be like, oh, I'm going to play on the range on, of course, the minion I'm last hitting. And then when the jungle comes, I'm going to start running in towards the enemy guy. And he's going to, of course, feel like something is up because you're suddenly bolting at him. CHOVY is also, of course, leveraging the information that he gets from his own jungle and the pressure from his own jungle. And he's looking to, set up the trades always. He does a great job of attacking Cassius' pool. And obviously the way he manages the minions is also beautiful because he's making sure to get all of them. And in this simple moment, he's just hard crashing the wave because he wants to hover for Zinzal, doing the objective as Zeus crosses. Here Zeus, I don't know what he does. He just kind of oinks here. Something I wanted to check out was how this hook didn't take him over the wall. Is this simply just a Zeus thing, where he's too fat to get over walls. It happened with the TP, happened now with this too, because it didn't seem like it was, of course, the Renekton W that cancelled him. Let me take a look. I'm very sorry, guys. A quick pause, because my brother's cat is eating pizza. Okay. That is the weirdest interruption ever in a video. Anyhow, let's continue. We move on. He goes back to the wave, pushes it, gets a base here at the 835 wave. He is only 2 CS away from perfect CS. He still only missed 2 CS, has a big advantage over the Casio. Let's see how he continues. Gonna get a lot of the same, pretty much. He's just darting in and out on the waves, and he's looking to connect with game ideas. He's hovering in situations where Renekton feels, in danger with the Trundle. The moment Trundle showed on bottom side, he crossed into mid again. He's now warding on bottom side. He held his ward this entire time because he knows Zinza wants to cross. He is now once again doing the thing where he just pushes. Here he sticks a little bit of a longer trade, gets the phase rush in, and uses movement to bait out spells from Zeka. And then once again, just E without the Q to not get stunned. And then here Canyon comes in, Zeka reads it. Even here, Canyon is a little bit of a psychopath because, Zeka can just look to cover the R, but they're always making Zeka second guess his decisions by never being predictable, which is so crucial in the lane phase. Just looking at Rocky's not eating any pizza. He basically just dug in with his claws in the pizza box, and it was crazy talk. We jump a little bit forward because it's going to be a lot of the same. CHOVY still CS numbers looking incredible, hovering into vision on the play that is happening bottom side in case he's needed with the Ryze ultimate. Something that makes this matchup harder for Casio too is that Ryze can just perma push waves. Whenever the wave state is difficult or Ryze got poked enough, he can just one-shot the wave, he can push out the wave, and pretty much you just reset the wave state. This is something that Talia also leverages super much because she has the move speed to get, of course, to lane next to walls. Talia has a lot of hard matchups mid, whether it's Orianna or Victor, but she basically just pushes 2 bases before Cannon, comes back, catches Cannon, plays again, and that forces the enemy to play in the same, of course, pattern. Because they also need to make sure that they are basing and are not in mana troubles. So this was a cheeky move here from CHOVY, where he opens on mid, he catches the cannon just because of the tempo of the Tristana, and then he just Ryze ults top. So he's just farming 2 cannon waves. Sadly, he misses that 1 cannon. This is a part, I guess, of the CHOVY cheat code, is pretty damn good laning and also being very wary of the opportunities to get a little bit more farm on side lane. At this point in time, it's very, very hard to have perfect CS due to everything that is going on. But the number that we would be looking for if somebody had perfect CS, which is, of course, literally just impossible. The perfect CS at this point in time would be... Wait. He has perfect CS. The number is 164. Fucking CHOVY. It is supposed to be impossible, but just because of this cheeky move where he took the mid wave and the top wave at the same time, he is still having perfect CS. It's 164 at 1405 perfect CS. All right. When I say perfect CS, I mean like if a person stood on lane and got every single CS in one lane. It's all right. So CHOVY hacking, it began. We continue. In terms of the side laning, let's take a look at how he does it. He's making sure with the ward here that he's not in any trouble, but he makes sure to also scour and check all the bushes for either Casio or Trundle, which is also super clever and good. You never know what kind of traps the enemy is going to set out for you. Something that Genji do so well with Canyon as well. He pushes, hovers, puts the plant down, and in the end is just making sure that he's first to the situation if need be. Zeka still needs to loop around. Ryze has no ultimate, so he's doing the walking tour. He was here in the situation when needed be. Now he's going to look to walk back top to get the rest of the wave here. He pulls it to put Cassio in discomfort because he knows, based on the Blitzcrank ward that was placed before, that Cassio put no new ward because the ward, of course, would spot any ward placed. So he pulls this wave just to deny Cassio a little bit more. He knows he has Zinza in river. The enemy knows that Zinza is in river. So why not put that to use? Let's make this Cassiopeia scared. Let's make her feel like she's wasting time. He can slow push this one and then maybe hard shove the cannon or even wait longer if he wants to make the Cassio bleed some more. And this position, of course, is very comfortable for CHOVY. And he puts the position of the wave in a better spot for himself. Slow pushes this one. He doesn't want to base just yet because he has no gold. He wants to push one more. I think he could have saved spells here a little bit longer to keep the wave in a nicer spot. Because maybe there's an angle where the enemy can cross through here, which is very unlikely, but could happen. He could have saved spells for this wave that he's one-shotting right now and been in a safer position. Basically, you want to burn your spells on the wave that you really want to go home on. Otherwise, you can slow push as much as possible. When I say slow push, basically just do the deep last hits and don't commit to bursting the wave too soon. CHOVY just with a slight misjudgment, but in this case, he didn't get punished. You see here, the homies actually came after him, the Trundle. Maybe in a different world, he would be in danger here, and it would have been a mistake that we pointed out. Well, either way, it's a mistake, right? Because in the end, you know, he could have done this better. Well, at this point in time, he finally doesn't have an impossible perfect CS. Perfect CS would be 196 if you farmed every minion on a wave, on lane. At this point in time, 196, still 191 in comparison to the Cassio's 153 is extremely, extremely impressive. CHOVY is very efficient in his movement, very efficient in his lane play, and also finds really good base timers on the cannon waves. Now he gets the Rift Herald base, which he can tempo into being on top ASAP. He has Mercs now, which makes him super strong. He uses the Ryze ult to gank the Cassio. He felt safe because she saw Ryze base. And the Ryze ult, of course, is something that breaks that and really, really cheats that. Because usually Cassio sees Ryze base, I have a pink, I should be safe. But Duro just comes with the Mike Tyson blow to the face. And Cassio is petrified herself. He gets the majority of the wave. He gets the Herald. They drift off into mid lane. He gets a little pink ward in the pixel. He hovers for the play because his team wants to, of course, break the turret. And there's nothing for him on the top side. The little team fight commences. Let's take a look at how he plays around it. And at this point, CHOVY is so damn strong because he's level 13. Roa, of course, across the board is just super, super fed. He's giga tanky. How My Life is just trying to ignore this pirate here. They're shooting nukes at them because they don't have the damage to kill them, especially from the Mercs. He's the highest level, tankiest member on the team. And these are the type of fights that Ryze is super, super strong in. Zeka in the end, all the postures gets rooted by, of course, the empowered root there, the Rune Prison on the Essence Flux, and then Ruler with the beautiful knock with the bomb that he tried to send into Viper there to get the lethal, which is super nice. Here CHOVY doesn't skip a beat, goes straight to bot because he knows the tempo of the enemy. So basically a rule of thumb to look for is you have enough time to act while the enemy team is dead, and then you should save around 12 to 13 seconds to make sure that you base if you want to maintain tempo, because otherwise the enemy is going to run at you, cancel your recalls, and really, really punish you. Basically, recalling is as if giving yourself a 12-second death timer. 8 seconds for the recall, and of course, maybe 4 seconds on average to find like a safe spot in a pocket to really do it in. Which is the wave. Pieces out. Get some plants on the exit. And he TPs straight into mid. He's being a nice guy, not taking ruler seers. You could see on his face that he really wanted to. Look at that. He really, really wanted to. Yeah. I'm not gonna keep track of the perfect CS anymore. Now it's just a question of just the CS advantage that's more impressive. He loses a full wave there because you open on mid. Usually what you want to look out for when you're stronger as a team, you open on mid, not necessarily on the mid wave, but you open through mid, and then depending on the enemy lane assignment, you look to match. You want to match because you're stronger. You don't want to be in a situation where you mismatch when you, of course, can beat them on the lanes with even numbers. Like that, you suffocate the enemy and make sure that they don't have any counterplay, and that's how you set up a 3 kind of lane assignment. At this point in time, it is a little bit more streamlined, of course, because YamatoCannon is alive. CHOVY's decision is pretty easy. And of course, Renekton with TP into top side makes a lot of sense, because Zeka has no TP either, and he's matched with Ryze. But it's just something to know in general, that when you're strong, open through mid, and then walk on the guy that you want to mess up. That is the best way to, of course, make sure that you snowball. Another little teamfight action, and it's going to end in GENG's favor. No hook lands on Zeus, but Zeus displaying the teamfight here. Nice exhaust there, and you can see that Ruler and Canyon are just buying time. Smite comes through, and here we have a delicious and vicious, of course, ace. A little bit further forward, just to kind of put a neat bow on this game in terms of the commentary on CHOVY's farm. We can just take a look at how messy this game became before GENG, of course, found the ending. Now we have CHOVY level 17, keeps a beautiful 62 CS lead with all of these details that we've mentioned. We look for the ending here. Canyon borderline disrespectful with how confident he is on the objective, and how Alive do this cheeky play where Alistar goes over the pit, Zeus looks for the finish, and of course Peanut is going to flash over the wall to look for a smite. And the light, of course, stops Xin Zhao from entering the pit, and the Gragas ult as a follow-up, and Canyon looks to smite, but Trundle gets it in the end, which is a very nice cheeky play. I like it. In the end here, GENG have a little bit of too much fun. They're looking for the ending here, and this is where Viper has his pop-off moment. Viper despair. He has GA here, and Duro makes a massive blunder by not landing the hook on Kai'Sa, which forces, of course, GENG to overcommit to the play and put in a lot more resources to actually kill the guy. Ruler now, no mana, is in this situation where this Cassiopeia walks towards him, gets his beautiful ultimate, and Viper just kind of slides on the enemy. Watching the POV of this one on the broadcast was something else. Beautiful, beautiful Viper dancing. In the end, with a little bit of back and forth, we had a final fight that happened on the mid-wave. A situation where we had Despair, Viper Despair, finds Keen on a ward, pushes him off, punching Keen away, and he has his ult off. And at this point in time, look at CHOVY's items. He is launching nukes. Kai'Sa, of course, has managed to, get 6 items, which is vicious too. But let's take a look at how they just play it here. The light is looking for the combo on Ruler. We do direct camera so I don't make you guys dizzy. The light will be looking for a combo on Ruler. Let's see why How Alive couldn't really follow up and break his ankles. We had the flash through. The miasma came super late. Maybe Zeka could have been quicker. Blitzcrank died. And let's take a look what happened here at the end. CHOVY does so much damage in the first initial engage, and Canyon kind of breaks them off. And then in the end, the fight is just over. Was it all on the back of CHOVY just launching that huge nuke after the pillar? Because the pillar looks nice. Pillar looks nice. You know, the pillar looks good. Let's take a look. CHOVY gets pillared here in this moment, and then let's take a look here. We slow it down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit here. And look at that. Ooh. Damn. And then once again, another Q there. Misses. And then the E and the Canyon on the counter engage. Ruler also got enough damage on Viper. And in the end, this attempt to try to go at CHOVY even when he has Hourglass was just a big mistake. I just How Alive maybe leverage this situation to create the circumstance where they are the ones first on the objective, then maybe they could have won. And that is, of course, the tale for another video. How Alive's problems and the cause for their downfall. Of course, the big three. Because now it's, you know, the equivalent of How Alive. You know, we had the big three in the LCK, and How Alive said, motherfuck the big three. I don't want to be a part of it. If Kendrick used that as the bar, it wouldn't have landed as well. Anyhow, CHOVY Masterclass, together with the GENG and the bros. A little breakdown. Let me know what you guys thought about it. If you made it to this part of the video, please. If you like this type of content, leave a like, leave a comment. I will make sure to read all of it. Let's keep doing these reviews. I have a lot of fun doing them. I enjoy these. All the best.